Thomas Sparrow from Berlin. Hi, Thomas. Have these talks opened a more cooperative chapter in relations between Germany and Poland?
That's at least the hope that's coming both from Berlin and from Warsaw after these intergovernmental consultations, which, by the way, are a particularly important meeting between governments. So it's much more than just a meeting of the two heads of government. It's also the meeting of several ministers that want to work together on different aspects of their common agenda. So there is at least hope from both sides, from Poland and from Germany, that this will open a new chapter in cooperation. And it's particularly relevant for both countries, not only because they are neighbors, but also because of the challenges that the European Union is facing now, in particular the war in Ukraine. And both countries vowed to work together when it comes to helping Ukraine, to stepping up cooperation in terms of defense, in terms of common agreements on this issue. So it's not only about the bilateral issues that Germany and Poland might be working together on, it's also about the broader issues where both countries want to coordinate their positions when it comes then to discussing decisions or discussions on the European level in Brussels, or when it also comes to obviously working together towards supporting Ukraine.
And do we have more information, Thomas, on Scholz's plan to support the surviving Polish victims of the German aggression and occupation between 1939 and 1945?
This whole issue of reparations has actually been a stumbling block of the relationship in the past, of the bilateral relationship in the past. It has been one of the most controversial and one of the most difficult issues between the governments of those two countries. And in this particular case, the discussion between both leaders, but also more broadly between both governments, was not necessarily specifically on overall war reparations, but maybe on compensating some of the surviving victims of the Nazi regime in Poland, and also looking for, and I'm quoting here, more creative ways to help in this issue. For example, by sponsoring a German-Polish house here in Germany that will look at those bilateral issues, or also looking at other ways in which both countries could work together. Now, there has been criticism specifically coming from Poland's opposition that the German Chancellor was not more concrete in the government's proposals, but at least from the Polish government, this seems to be a step in the right direction in which both governments could also work together. So when you ask about these intergovernmental consultations being a step in the right direction in order to foster more constructive relationship between those countries, we also have to understand this idea about reparations or compensations as part of that better relationship between Germany and Poland.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas Sparrow joining us from DW Berlin. Still to come on DD India Global.